Good evening. Hundreds of South Australian workers and an entire outback town are tonight facing an uncertain future, with Alinta Energy announcing its Leigh Creek coal mine will close within weeks and the Port Augusta power station will shut within months. The decision to close the operations quickly, adding to the state's deepening jobs crisis.
Alinta's 440 workers and the communities they live in knew the company's Port Augusta and Leigh Creek operations would close sooner or later. But today the news came it would be sooner than they hoped.
You know, everyone is sort of worried about where they're going to be going afterwards. Just knowing the date sort of helps out.
Today's a really hard day for our members in Port Augusta and Leigh Creek.
While Alinta had sounded the death knell in June, citing huge losses and a shift to renewable energy, the company suggested the closures could be as far off as 2018. Now it is confirmed the Leigh Creek coal mine, the lifeblood of the small outback town, will close next month. And the Port Augusta power station it supplies will shut down in March.
The owners have spent well in excess of $300 million trying to keep things running, and just at a point now where it's just unsustainable, and the earlier the close date, the better.
Alinta will shell out $75 million in redundancy payments and has pledged another $3.5 to help workers find new jobs. The state government is stumping up $1 million and has formed an assistance task force. But with South Australia's nation-leading unemployment rate at 7.9%, there are concerns it won't be enough.
We believe there is a jobs crisis in South Australia.
Already thousands of jobs have been slashed in recent months in SA's mining and energy sectors. More cuts announced last week at the Whyalla Steelworks. But 132 of the Alinta workers are being offered some certainty. Because they were public servants before the power station was privatised, they have a right of return to government employment.
We will, over the next couple of weeks, be working with those workers to give an indication of what sort of jobs they might be, what area of government and the location of those jobs will be.
The government also moving to reassure South Australians the power station closure won't impact supply or force up electricity prices.
Rory McLaren joins us now live from outside the Port Augusta power station. Rory, how have locals responded to Alinta's announcement today?
Well, Brenton, some of the locals I've spoken to have certainly been putting on a brave face, but some have also told me that they were still shocked that Alinta chose to close the power station as soon as they have. Now, the council has been preparing for the worst case scenario, which of course has sadly come about, and now the loss of 200 positions here will certainly have an impact on local businesses. As for the Mayor, well, he's calling on all tiers of government to work together to try and develop new opportunities for the town. Here's what he had to say.
We will have a negative impact. We will sadly see people move, and this is where I've relayed to the state government a number of times. This is not just a Port Augusta issue, this is a state issue, because already we have an example of a husband and wife and 3 kids that have had to relocate to Queensland.
Now, Sam Johnson also spoke about Port Augusta's resilience. The town has actually been here before and bounced back. The rail industry left in the 1990s, while hundreds of jobs were shed when the Baxter Detention Centre closed a few years ago. Now, the Upper Spencer Gulf community, well, they're certainly going to have to dig into that resilience to rebound over the coming months.
Yeah, thoughts for the people there. Thank you, Rory. And there are fears that the closure of the Leigh Creek coal mine could spell the end for the outback town. But the government says it will work to guarantee its future. Reporter Jared Brevy is there.
This has come as a big shock for the Leigh Creek community. They knew mining was coming to an end, but no one expected it to happen this soon. At the height of operations, Leigh Creek's population reached almost 3,000. Now it's predicted that'll diminish to literally just a few dozen residents. Alinta and coal mining is the lifeblood of this town. The mining company owns and operates much of the infrastructure here, and more than half of the town's population is employed in the mine. The news today has locals fearing the worst, many not knowing what their future holds.
I think in the long run there won't be a Leigh Creek. I'm pretty sure that there will be nobody here. If the mine's not here, the workers aren't here, the shops and the businesses aren't here, there's nothing here.
I don't really know what to say, but it's affected a lot of people. Not just the workers, but also the people around the community as well, like Lyndhurst, for example, and Beltana and everyone else that's around here.
But the state government does think Leigh Creek still has a future. It's talking about tourism opportunities and has made a commitment to keeping the town's hospital, school, ambulance service and police station open until at least July 2018.
The government's view on Leigh Creek is probably different to the general perception. We don't view it as a liability, we view it as an asset. Leigh Creek is at the doorstep of some of the great tourist attractions anywhere in the world. We have vast amounts of areas that are highly prospective for mining and of course highly prospective for tourism.
Also under the terms of Alinta's lease agreement, the company must continue to supply Leigh Creek with services such as water and sewerage until July 2018. It's little comfort for most locals though. Without jobs, those reassurances are meaningless.